All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I think it's 6 o'clock now, and I know we had some rain, so some folks may be trickling in. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tony Parrott. I'm the Executive Director at MSD, and glad that you can join us. We are happy to be here today to talk to you about some of the things that we're doing in the community as it relates to odors and odor mitigation in the community. And I want to start by showing you a 2-minute video of some of the things that MSD does in terms of our 3 utilities in one. So that'll give us some context.
MSD, ensuring safe, clean waterways for Louisville and the surrounding region. MSD does more than you might realize to protect the health and safety of our communities, and the work is really quite extraordinary. It is our mission to provide quality wastewater, stormwater, and flood protection services to protect public health and safety. Let's talk about MSD's 3 key services. First up, wastewater treatment. This is the water we send down the drain from sinks, showers, tubs, and toilets. MSD treats more than 170 million gallons of wastewater every day. Water quality treatment centers ensure that the water meets or exceeds regulatory standards before it's released back into local streams and the Ohio River. Next up, stormwater management. What happens when we get heavy rains or after it snows? All of that water has to go somewhere. MSD makes sure the runoff flows into drainage channels to underground pipes that transport water away from homes and businesses and into area creeks, streams, and the Ohio River. Now let's talk about flood protection. MSD flood protection infrastructure includes 29 miles of flood wall, 16 pumping stations, 150 floodgates, and 80 flood wall closures. It all works together, keeping the community safe when river waters rise. MSD also closely monitors water quality within the system to make sure pollutants don't contaminate our waterways. Plus, the innovative technology and engineering of MSD's waterway protection tunnel and underground storage basins further protect our community from dangerous overflows and pollution. There's more to MSD than you imagined, right? MSD is dedicated to our community's health, a cleaner environment, and a better quality of life for all area residents, today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
So that gives you sort of a snapshot of MSD in terms of what we do with our wastewater system and our stormwater and drainage system and our flood protection system. All 3 of these utilities are important assets to the community, and one of the things that we've been doing this summer is scheduling public meetings around the community so we could talk a little bit about our clAIRity program. And we created our clAIRity program as our combined efforts to help get the message out about odors in the city and to engage with the community so we get direct information to them and we get feedback from the community as well. So this is something to where we want folks to either talk to us about an issue, they can report an issue if they want to report an issue, or they can ask a question if they have a question relative to odors. So you should have the ability to be able to either write your question down or we can address those as we go through. During tonight's presentation, we will also have an opportunity for us to take information for you so that we can investigate. If you have an issue in your neighborhood, just make sure that you get with one of our staff folks and we can communicate with you. Let's talk about odors. What causes sewer odors in our system? The primary odor that we have in our system is hydrogen sulfide. It's H2S, and it's a natural combination when sewage or other materials decompose in the system, and it is exacerbated obviously during hot, dry periods, mostly in the summer. We have branded the month of June through October as odor season here, and so common places that odors may exist might be catch basins, those things that are along the street when it rains, the water drains in it. We have manholes, we have wastewater treatment plants, we have pump stations. All those different types of locations can be a source or a place where odors can emit from the system. So one of the things that I think is very important is that people understand that there are other sources of odors in our community. There are non-MSD sources such as chemical plants or manufacturing facilities or even a garbage truck or a garbage bin that may be in the community can be a source of odors. So while we work every day to mitigate odors, we don't have any responsibility over private sources of odors. So we want to make sure that when we talk to our community that we clearly understand what is the odor, what does it smell like, and is it related to the sewer itself. We do things every day to help mitigate odors at our facilities on a small scale. We use carbon canisters. They are usually primarily used over manholes or air release valves or something like that, is where air is moved through an activated carbon canister and odors are absorbed into the carbon, and that's a good way of odor treatment or odor mitigation. On a much larger scale, we do chemical treatment or chemical addition into our sewer system, whether it's at a pump station or a small treatment plant or in a major transmission line. We add a chemical called bioxide, which is a very natural way of addressing odors in sewer systems. There's other chemicals that are used as well, but bioxide is a non-hazardous chemical that is commonly added to wastewater treatment or wastewater stream to mitigate odors in the system. We also have biofilters at our larger treatment plants or some of our main diversion facilities. Carbon filters or biofilters are a very simple treatment process that is used where we put the air through a wood fiber or wood chip or large pieces of mulch. And again, the bacteria on the wood chips or mulch can consume the odor compounds, and so that helps with odor mitigation in the system. At our largest treatment plant, Morris Foreman, for example, which is the oldest and the largest treatment plant in the state, we use biological scrubbers to help reduce odors, and biological scrubbers are more complicated to operate, and there are a lot more moving parts than the biofilters, but the premise is the same. Basically, inside the vessels is a bed of media, and living on the media is bacteria, and then the odors, as they come through there, they can attack that odor compound and reduce the odor. So primarily you have these at our largest wastewater treatment plants, but there's things that we do every day, and when we talk about the system, there's a combined sewer system, primarily inside the 264 or the Waterston Expressway. We have 5 major watersheds in Jefferson County that we serve. The Morris Foreman watershed is mostly where the combined sewer system is, and with these combined sewer systems, they're very large pipes, and they were really designed to be carrying stormwater and waste from businesses and homes, and they are designed to be self-cleaning, meaning we need rain to flush out those big sewers. And so when we have periods in the summer where it's real hot and real dry, we have a hard time with odors building up in the combined sewer system. The example would be last week. We had a heat wave, right? Soon as that was dry, it was 95 degrees for 3 or 4 consistent days. And I think last Wednesday and Thursday, we start to see a spike in odors in the system. So there is a correlation between hot, dry, extreme hot, extreme dry periods and odor mitigation in the combined sewer system. The combined sewer system in Louisville was built in the 1800s. And I can tell you that in addition to just dealing with aging infrastructure, across the nation, large urban core cities are battling with odor mitigation because of the shift in climate change in our country. Morris Foreman, I mentioned, is the oldest and largest treatment plant in the state. On average, we treat 90 million gallons per day, but on a rainy day, we have the capacity to treat approximately 350 million gallons per day. And you know, we are doing a lot of work at Morris Foreman as well. We have a biosolids improvement project that is kicked off down there. That is a $250 million project. There is about $12 to $13 million of scope in that project specifically to improve odor mitigation at the Morris Foreman treatment plant. We know that that can be a source of odor, particularly in the west end of our city. That project is underway and is scheduled to be completed by 2027. So it is a very large project, but the odor control work is going to be done as a part of that project. I mentioned the combined sewer system. This kind of gives you a service area or a map that kind of helps you understand the combined sewer system, and you will notice that it is a part of the city not only that is, you know, has odor assets, but it's a part of the city that also is where Morris Foreman is in the west end of our city. We also have assets that we have put in as a part of our consent decree, the Shawnee Park Basin, the Portland Basin, and other sources of potential odors that we are examining in our community as well. But in terms of local neighborhoods, we know that a lot of odors come out of the system from catch basins. And when you look at catch basins in our system, we have some that are just old. We have some that were not built with what we call with the ability to be trapped. And I'll explain that in a minute. And then we'll have some that are untrapped, and we have some that are trapped. But we have some that just need rehabilitation, and we have some that don't have proper drain plugs in them. And so our crews spend a lot of time responding to odors, either to address getting water into the catch basins or identifying them for rehab. We have inspectors that are assessing a lot of catch basins inside the Waterston Expressway. I think we have approximately 22,000 catch basins inside the Waterston Expressway, and about 15,000 of them are probably in need of repair or rehabilitation. So we have identified 8 specific areas that we're focused on in the next couple of fiscal years to address catch basin rehab and replacement. But when you think about a trapped catch basin, essentially it has the ability, it's kind of like the pipe or the gooseneck under your sink in your house. It has the ability to hold water, and that water serves as a trap to where odors cannot get out of the system if the catch basin is trapped properly. We also have trapped catch basins that also where during hot, dry periods the water will evaporate out of those catch basins, and so we have to be able to respond, and that's what our crews do. We have several of our crew members here tonight that respond whenever we get a call. They either introduce water back into that catch basin, or they can flush it out, or they clean it out, or they deodorize it. But you know, even trapped catch basins can be a source, and so that's something that is a challenge that we're dealing with as well. If a catch basin is untrapped, that is an area where it doesn't have the ability to hold water as a trap. And so naturally, any type of odors that are generated in the system are escaping through the untrapped catch basins. So a lot of the projects that we have identified are projects that will either mitigate or improve that catch basin or completely replace it with a trapped catch basin with the ability to be able to hold water as a trap. And so we have in our budget for the next 2 fiscal years, our board has prioritized approximately $49 million specifically to address not only catch basins but other odor enhancements in our system. I mentioned the impact of dry weather. Obviously today we just came through a rainstorm, which is, we always like to see rain because that helps us with this issue of dried out catch basins. But we have experienced drought periods and dry spells, particularly last summer and fall, was a very hot and dry period for us. And if you have a combined sewer system, which is designed to be self-cleaning, if you're not getting rain and you have periods of days or months where it's 95 degrees and you're not getting rain, that's a problem in a combined sewer system. The things that we are doing on a daily basis, in addition to the chemicals and the biofilters and those type of things that are assets, we are also flushing and deodorizing sewer mains and manholes and catch basins as a part of our daily operation. And we have water trucks that we have deployed within our own fleet. We have a 100-gallon truck, we have a 300-gallon truck, we have a 3,500-gallon truck, and if I'm not mistaken, the 3,500-gallon truck is on the road this week to be able to target those areas where we can get water in the system. We have put out to bid a long-term contract with a contractor to be able to assist us with getting water in the system as well. And we are continuing to partner with the Louisville Water Company to implement a comprehensive hydrant flushing schedule, particularly in hotspot areas where we've identified those. Somebody asked me today if we were getting the water free, and I say, no, we're not getting the water free, but if you want to take that mission on, you can talk to the folks at the water company, but you know, it is a good partnership that we have with them. One of the things that I think is very important for folks to understand, that as our city has grown, the number of accounts that we have, or the population of our city has grown over the last 50 years, the water consumption of that same growth is still the same as it was 50 years ago. This chart kind of shows you the blue graphs from 1970 through 2023. The consumption of the system, water company, I think it's approximately 150 million gallons a day system-wide. But even though our city, our accounts and our population has tripled or quadrupled, the average use or consumption in the system is the same as it was in 1970. So that exacerbates the whole issue of climate change and dry, hot, dry periods. We're getting more solids, but we're not getting more water to help flush those solids out of the system. So we are always, even though we're not, sitting and waiting for it to rain, but we always believe in a combined sewer system that rain is a very good remedy. For example, when we get 2 inches of rain, we know that generates about 2 billion gallons of runoff in our system, and that flushes that combined sewer system. And so when we look at the daily consumption of our water service area and you compare that to 2 inches of rain, it's always going to be more effective for us to get the rain that we need periodically. Up until last week, we were getting those periodic rain events and really helped out. And as I mentioned before, we really didn't start to see the odors picking up until last week. The rain we had yesterday and obviously today is obviously going to help with some of that. But we're not resting on our laurels. We are continuing to be proactive, trying to identify contributing areas or primary areas where we can come up with strategic plans. I do see that Rachel came, and we are under discussions with them under trying to come up with an amended order that's going to even put in more information that we can do to be more strategic and to address and be more responsive and to communicate more with the community. Kim Reed, I'll give her a shout out. She is the internal odor guru who's going to be working with our strategy and working with our operations teams that are responding because we take it very seriously, and that's why we're having these meetings. We're not running from the issue. We want to know where the problems are, and we want to be proactive, and we want to be responsive. The catch basin replacement program that I talked about, there are a series of projects that are either complete or underway or in the bidding process, and there's about 422 catch basin replacements in 5 neighborhoods that will be done by the end of 2025. I said we had a meeting last night in Old Louisville, and I asked the crowd, how much do you think it cost to replace one catch basin? And I don't think anybody had an idea. Right now, it ranges anywhere between $15,000 and $20,000 per catch basin. And so when you think about the 15,000 or so that we have to work on, it's work that we got to phase over time. And so it's very expensive for us to do this work. But we are committed to do that, and we have projects across several neighborhoods in Park Duval. Actually, the catch basins that were identified in Park Duval are complete. We have completed that catch basin work. We're also still monitoring the odors in the Park Duval area because we know that, even a trapped catch basin can dry out. We also have a project in California neighborhood. I think there's 3 projects. One is complete. We have another one that is supposed to be complete in October of this year. And then we have another one that is out for bid next month in July. So that work is moving forward in the Shawnee neighborhood. We have a total of 202 catch basins where that construction is estimated to be complete in May of 25. And in the Taylorberry and in the Russell neighborhood, Taylorberry, we have approximately 54 catch basins, and that's going to be out for bid next month as well. And then in Russell neighborhood, we have several phases of the Russell neighborhood that we will be doing. There's 747 catch basins that are identified for replacement, and we'll be phasing those out over the next several fiscal years. So we still have other neighborhoods that we need to address. Last night we were in Old Louisville. They wanted to know where they were on the list. So, we told them that, we'll be assessing the catch basins not only in Old Louisville, we'll be doing ongoing work as a part of our reconnaissance in the downtown business district as well. The other thing I'll know is some of the projects that we're doing, whether they're capital projects or emergency projects, as a part of those projects, if we identify that a catch basin needs to be replaced, we're doing change orders to those projects and replacing those catch basins as we go through. A lot of times when we get calls from the community, we ask them, where is the odor coming from? And a lot of times people don't know that in their homes there could be sources of odors from your bathroom sink or from your wash sink in the basement or from your floor drains if they are not trapped as well. And if there's odors that are in the sewer pipe, and if you don't have trapped basins within your plumbing, odors can emanate through your internal plumbing as well. Our primary focus is on the odors that we are, well, I don't know if that'll show on there, but anyway, under number 1, the catch basins or manholes or the streets, that's where our first priority investments are. And we try to coach and advise folks on how to deal with odors if it is coming from, say, a floor drain or a tub sink or a kitchen sink or even a roof drain from their property, so they can identify where that odor is coming from. But hydrogen sulfide is a natural odor, and we know that while odor is inevitable and it's a part of what we do, we work daily to manage and minimize those odors across our system. And there are also a number of residential mitigation measures in and around the house that can help reduce the odors as well. Our employees are here to respond, but they're also here to assist in the event that folks have odors. So our clAIRity program is something that even though we have 5 that are scheduled this summer, we are also getting invites to other meetings, and we're spreading this message all over the city. There is an op-ed in the Courier Journal that's going to be talking a little about some of the operational things that we're doing in terms of odor mitigation. But we encourage folks to call us if they have an issue. We want to know about it, 540-6000. And also, if they want to go to the website, they can go to louisvillemsd.org/odor, or they can use Smell My City app to get information, and we pick that information up as well. We do have upcoming meetings yet this summer. We have a meeting on August the 27th in the Shawnee Library on West Broadway, and then we have a meeting in October at our central maintenance facility off of Commerce Center Place, which is off of Cane Run Road. And then we also have one in October at the Norton Healthcare Goodwill Opportunity Center, 2820 West Broadway. And that one is going to be during the day at 1 o'clock so we can catch a different demographic of folks. So if there's anybody that would have any questions, that's what we had as far as our presentation. But if you want to ask a question or if you want to talk to one of our staff, you're welcome to talk to them as well. So anybody have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Can you say a little bit more about the project that's gonna be completed in 2027? I don't, I just didn't get a conceptual
Sure.
idea of what the
Sure.
approach is.
Sure.
And then are the goals that, you know, within 6 months, after that's complete, you'll have X percent fewer complaints in specific neighborhoods? Or yeah, how will you measure success other than paying the bills to?
Well, as far as the project for the August 2027, I think that's the large project that we're doing down at Morris Foreman. In addition to other work that we're doing at Morris Foreman, we know that that's going to assist localized odors within the Algonquin corridor there. In addition to the biosolids project, we're also doing a total rehab of our sedimentation basins at the Morris Foreman treatment plant. All total right now, on the site of Morris Foreman, we have over $500 million worth of construction projects going on, and each one of them benefit the overall operation, but also help us in terms of getting solids out of the plant, help us with mitigation. So not only is it going to make a difference operationally and also from what we're discharging from the plant, but we know that that's going to be very helpful to reduce odors in that area. I think the measure of success there is going to be what are the type of odors that we're seeing not only on the plant, but what are we seeing in the neighborhood? We know that Morris Foreman is a major contributor, and that's why we're putting all of the investment and the focus on Morris Foreman. And we did that specifically by working with the EPA, for example. We had other projects that we were supposed to be doing under our consent decree. We negotiated with the EPA to push some of those projects back so we could prioritize on Morris Foreman and doing some other stuff. So we think that strategy was a good strategy, and we know that when all that work is done at Morris Foreman, that's going to make a big difference. I was going to answer the second part of your question about.
The project itself is doing.
Well, there's certain parts of the operation at Morris Foreman that has, like at our sedimentation basins or at our biosolids facilities. Those facilities, those buildings, they have to have odor mitigation. So whether it's biofiltration or if it's some type of chemical addition that we're using, in some cases we may be able to look at covering some of the channels that are odor emitters as a part of the project as well. So it's a very broad scope, but it's all designed in this design build project that we're doing at Morris Foreman. I say that the ultimate project completion is done in 27. Some of the odor control work will be done way before that. And as far as the catch basin work, the measure of success, particularly with the trapped catch basins, we should see reduced odors, but we know that if we go 3 months without rain, we know that some of the water in a trapped catch basin will evaporate, and folks may get complaints. But we hope and we believe that our focus on the catch basins and also with enhancing our internal response, the thing that we have failed on in the past is that we really didn't do a good job of following up with people, letting them know that we did get the complaint, we did respond, and what we did to remedy that. So those are the things that we're trying to do operationally. We're adding staff, we're adding more equipment, we're looking at more ways to dose chemicals, all those type of things that are going to help minimize the creation of H2S within the sewer system. So it's a multi-pronged approach, and we even hired an odor expert that comes to town at least once a month to meet with our team to assess things. And we're learning a lot as well as we go.
The catchment replacement program, basin replacement. So when you do the replacement, is each one redesigned so that it has the?
You want to answer that, Joe?
Yeah, so what we have out there now is the old catch basins, they're not trapped at all.
Yeah.
So with the new structure, we will create a trap. So the ones that we are replacing will be trapped. Now, we still might have the issue if we don't have rain for 3 months, but we have the ability to trap the water if we need to. Or if it's not been trapped, we can put water in to make it trap. Yes.
Any other questions or comments? All right. Well, thank you all for coming. We do have staff upstairs that, are they still upstairs? Okay. We have staff upstairs. We have information here at the table. We have forms that folks can fill out. We have flyers announcing our meetings and their locations. And again, this is something that, we want to do. We want to get out of the community and hear back. So if there are any more questions, I'll say, Kim, do you have something you want to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say that this is a service request that if that needs, something's happening specifically right now in your home, in your community, you want to fill this out and go out and look from the fact that this side issue, so we'll make sure you use it here as well. Okay?
All right. Thank you, everybody.